A missing lover.
She called Chris and she lured him over there for sex.
A dead husband.
I just couldn't believe it. I knew that Kelly killed her.
And the strategic trap to catch this black widow.
You watched him die. Right? Look at me.
Crime Watch Daily.
Today at 11 a.m., 10 Central.
Our main question is, what really brought you to the Cochran case? Because I know it kind of went national in Rolling Stone magazine for a little bit, but what intrigued you enough to do a story on her?
Well, I think it's one of those fascinating cases where you've got this woman who, ultimately confesses to killing her husband and her lover. And then the question comes up, is she responsible for more killings above and beyond that? So do we have a serial killer on our hands here? And it's just, so bizarre that these circumstances could all come together the same way at the same time and create this very, very interesting case.
It is interesting, and a lot of the things here that I actually covered the case when it was just a cold case and we knew nothing about Kelly Cochran. Christopher Regan went missing on the same day or about the same time that another man in Marquette, Michigan went missing, which pretty far apart from Iron River. So no one in anyone's mind was this that, he was dead, and if he was, Kelly Cochran, her name didn't exist to us yet. When we did find out and they brought her back from Kentucky, the case was she going to face charges for her husband's death or was she going to be prosecuted for Christopher Regan's? And ultimately that trial came first. So are you kind of covering that aspect that, as you said, she could be a serial
We're covering
killer?
the case, and we're covering that case and as it develops, and also, the continuing investigation. But I think what's fascinating in all these cases, here you have this, small town, northern Michigan. You don't expect to see this kind of crime, yet you have this woman who's accused of these heinous acts, and it's unusual. And then going down to Kentucky, then coming back, and the entire set of circumstances makes it very interesting to us. And I also think when we dig into a story like this, we can understand better the mind of a criminal and hear the voice of a victim and perhaps prevent this sort of thing from happening again.
Absolutely. Now, because you've dug into this case and it sounds like you've listened to her testimony quite a bit, have you gotten a sense of Kelly Cochran, of her really, and just kind of her persona?
Kelly Cochran is a bit of an enigma because, on the one hand, she's living this very normal life, married to this guy, northern Michigan, everything's good, and then all of a sudden she's got this extramarital affair, and then two people are dead, and perhaps more. And I think to delve into her psyche will be very, very interesting, and that's what we're trying to do right now.
And are you at all talking about the whole murder pact that was kind of revealed in court, that if one of them cheated on the other, and this, I guess, went for Jason Cochran as well. He's dead now, so we can't speak to this, but, if one of them cheated, they would have to kill the person that they cheated with. Have you ever heard of anything like this and covering all the unusual stories that you've covered?
No. I've been doing this for 36 years, and I've never, ever heard of something so bizarre as that. Who does that? But obviously they did, so it's something that we need to look into. And I think it's a fascinating story, and it's a tale of, amazing interest for people to watch. And again, who does this stuff? Obviously, there are people out there who think this way, who do this, and it's our job to dig into it and try to come up with some sort of explanation as to why this happened.
Is there anything that maybe you want the people of the UP, because of course we're going to show this to our viewers and everyone's going to be tuning in to watch your show on this. Is there anything you want them really to know that when covering this, maybe just kind of locally for Upper Michigan? Well,
I want people, it is a big case, and I want people in the Upper Peninsula and Marquette to know that, we cover stories all around the globe, and obviously I'm from Michigan. I worked in Detroit, I went to Michigan State University, and worked in Lansing as well. And so I have a special interest there. But, it doesn't have to happen in a big city for us to have an interest in it. We go to the small towns, we go to the critical cases, we go to the big towns. We go everywhere to cover these stories on Crime Watch Daily, and it's important to us for people to know that, we will dig into the stories. And we have a great interactive social media presence as well. So I mean, if people want to come to crimewatchdaily.com to report their story, we'll go anywhere. Whether it's me or one of our intrepid reporters, we'll go anywhere to cover a story.
Perfect. Yeah. Is there anything you wanted to add that I didn't ask you?
Well, I just think that this is one of those really bizarre cases that sticks out.
Yeah.
You would never expect this to happen in northern Michigan. You would never expect the profile of this person to do what she's accused of doing. And to me, that's fascinating material for our show.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that sums it up. It was bizarre and highly unusual, and definitely you can't even make the stuff up. Makes for
as
good
you
TV.
know, you covered it.
Yeah.
No, you can't. No, it's one of those situations where reality is more bizarre than than fiction.
Absolutely. Well said. Thank you so much for your time, Chris.
Thank you.
Crime Watch Daily.
Today at 11 a.m., 10 Central.